Welcome to the Windows and Computer channel, and this is of course a quick roundup of some of the questions and what I've been asked, and also some personal observations as in a couple of weeks time, in July, early July, we will be at the 6 months of out of support for Windows 7. According to the latest statistics, Windows 7 is dropping fast in the number of computers used, but it's still close to about 1/5 of all the computers running Windows out there. The majority of Windows PCs, honestly, on that 1/5 or 20% is probably enterprise. A lot of enterprise, a lot of businesses still rely on some form of Windows 7 for certain devices. So first thing about Windows 7, of course, if you're in the home version, pro version, you are out of support since January. That means that since January, just to give you guys an idea, it's several hundred security flaws that have been discovered in Windows 7. A lot of them are critical, meaning it's super easy to actually exploit. And it's interesting because I still get a lot of comments and people saying, well, I got a good antivirus, and it doesn't work like that. If you think that's the way to stay safe on Windows 7, you have no idea what staying safe on a PC is. A lot of people are on the impression they're safe because they got a good antivirus. Well, you're not, because critical security flaws can be exploited easily without your antivirus even knowing about it. Second of all, the amount of malware that are undetected by antiviruses, whatever you purchase, is staggering. So a lot of you claiming that you're safe are possibly, exploited by malware. Plus the fact that you're totally careless with other users, because the security you have, if compromised, is compromising the security of everybody else. So, it's something that, unfortunately, too many people think they're smart by, thinking they got some protections of some sort. But in reality, if you're running Windows 7 without the updates, you're not smart. And that's the only thing. Honestly, Windows 7 should have stopped working just at the date when the support ends. And that's it. Because it creates too much of a hazard for everybody else. Now, a lot of you have been asking me why Windows 7 is getting Microsoft Edge, even though it's end of support. Well, it's for the business side of things. They're pushing Microsoft Edge on the business side because businesses on the enterprise version that pay for it have 3 years of possible support left. That means their Windows 7 is being patched month after month for 3 years, as long as they continue paying the monthly fee or the annual fees to get support. And it gets more and more expensive as time goes by. The questions I get all the time is, well, can I move from Windows 7 to Windows 10? Yes, you can, for free, if you have a valid product key. That works, still works, will probably always work. So yes, you could. Does my Windows 7 machine, is it compatible with Windows 10? It depends on the generation a little bit of your machine. It depends where it comes from. If it's one of those machines that comes from the Windows Vista era, for example, it's possible that it works, but it's possible it won't. And if you purchase the machine with Windows 7, it all depends on the technologies that are inside it, because not all Windows 7 machines can necessarily move on. But you know what? I've got some machines here up to 10 years old, and Windows 10 works on them. So you should try it if you want to move on to something. Somebody also explaining, well, if maybe I don't want to have Windows 10, I want to have something else. One alternative to Windows 7 is to go to Linux, but you have to understand that Linux, if you just surf the web and do very basic things and email and stuff like that, is okay. But if you're someone that needs or requires software to do different tasks. The problem of Linux is that its software library is quite small compared to Windows, and there are equivalent to a lot of apps and a lot of different software. But if you need the real deal, you might need to stay into Windows. It's not necessarily an alternative for everybody. As for the rest, well, if you are on Windows 7 on a machine, you should move on to Windows 10 or whatever else you want to move on. But do think about it, because the amount of, like I said, malware and viruses that are undetected is staggering. And the amount of security flaws that are critical within Windows 7 is now very high, meaning it's super easy for you to get infected on Windows 7. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.